Join me to paint autumn trees and create unique texture using cling wrap and watercolor. It's only mid-August, but I couldn't wait until the end of September to try this fun loaded painting process. I start by loading my brush with cadmium yellow and applying it randomly on the watercolor paper. Next, I mix the remaining yellow with sap green to create a light green, which I added in random strokes. Next, I add some sap green, which is then followed by some random strokes of indigo. After painting spontaneously with analogous pigments, next step is to cover the wet paint with cling wrap. I gently lay the cling wrap over the paint and wrinkle it to create creases. These creases in the cling wrap form unique texture as the paint dries. Next, I loaded my brush with cadmium yellow and applied some random strokes onto the watercolor paper. Then I combined cadmium yellow with permanent orange and painted it onto the paper intuitively. Following that, I blended permanent orange with sap green and added it with spontaneous strokes. At last, I applied sap green with random strokes. After that, I placed the cling film over the wet paint, wrinkled it to form creases, and let it to dry on its own. For the third tree, I started by painting with a mix of permanent orange and cadmium yellow. Next, I applied permanent orange alone, followed by a blend of permanent orange with sap green. I then added sap green onto the watercolor paper. After that, I placed the cling film over the wet paint, wrinkled it to create creases, and allowed it to dry completely. After a couple of hours, I removed the cling film from all three trees. The unique textures created are wonderful and I really enjoyed seeing them. Now I'll move on to adding the trunks for these trees. For the first tree, I created the trunk using raw umber. Next, I'm mixing raw umber with indigo to get a dark brown shade, which is used to paint a cluster of trunks for this second tree. Using the mix of raw umber with indigo, I paint the shadow part of the first tree. Next, using indigo pigment, I paint the trunk of third tree. For this third tree, I felt that the branches lacked balance, so I used toothbrush to spray a mix of cadmium yellow and permanent orange on the left side of the tree. The final step is to paint the darkest part of the tree trunk using indigo. We have reached the end of this video and I hope you enjoyed watching this. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. See you in next video. Until then, take care and bye bye from Prema.